Welcome, my friends. I am so glad you could join me here today. Please make yourselves comfortable.
In the time when Lagos was young and the Atlantic wind still whispered secret to the coconut palms, there lived a woman named Aduni, whose name meant sweetness, but whose wealth was the talk of all Lagos. From the bustling markets of Balagun to the quiet mansion of Ikoyi, Aduni had not been born blind. As a girl in Ibadan, she had danced in the rain and watched the fireflies dance back. But fever took away her sight one cruel Harmattan season, leaving her with only the memory of color and sharpness of sound. When her father died, he left her the fortune of cocoa plantation and 7 houses in Lagos. She married Olumide, a handsome man from a respectable family, who swore before her father's grave that he would be her eyes. For 7 years, Olumide was indeed her eyes. He described the blue of the Lagos lagoon at sunset. He told her when the rappers matched her choral beats, he guided her through the parties of elites, where she laughed with politicians and charmed with her wits. Everyone said, "What a devoted husband, what a lucky woman to be loved despite her darkness." But Olumide was a man of appetites and devotion of a heavy yoke of selfish to carry. In the 7th year of marriage, Olumide brought home a young woman named Chinwe. He told Adune that Chinwe was a distant cousin from the village, come to learn the city of ways and help with the house. She is plain, Olumide lied smoothly, with skin like old cassava and a voice like squeaking door, but she is hardworking. Aduni, generous as the rain, welcomed Chinwe with open arms. She taught the girl how to wrap her hair in the latest Lagos style. She shared her jewelries, her perfume, her secrets. All the while, Chinwe and Olumide changed glances over Aduni's bowed head, glances of hunger and conspiracy. They grew bold. When Aduni sat in her parlor receiving guests, Chinwe would slip away into Olumide's studies. When Aduni slept in the master bedroom with its view of the sea, she could no longer see. Olumide would creep to the guest room where Chinwe waited. They thought themselves clever. They thought themselves safe. After all, the mistress of the house is blind. What can she know? But Aduni was blind only in her eyes. She heard the silence that fell when she entered a room. She felt the space between Olumide's words, where the truth hid like a fish in a murky water. She noticed that Chinwe had begun to wear her best perfumes, the ones Olumide once said he loved on Aduni's skin. One evening, as the three of them sat on the veranda listening to the generators hum across Ikoyi, Aduni spoke. "Chinwe, come sit beside me. Let me feel your face. I want to know if village life has been kind to you." Chinwe hesitated, then knelt. Aduni's fingers traced the girl's smooth cheeks, her full lips, the nervous pulse in her throat. "You're beautiful," Aduni said quietly. "Olumide, you did not tell me your cousin had such beauty." She's improved by the city living," Olumide stammered. "Improved?" Aduni repeated. "Yes, I smell my perfume on her. My Paris perfume. The one you bought me from your last trip." The night insects suddenly seemed very loud. Aduni said nothing more than that evening. But the next day, she sent her for her late mother's sister, a woman called 𝗕𝗵𝗄, mother of wisdom, who lived in a compound in Surulere, where the roads were red dust and the walls hid ears. 𝗕𝗵𝗄 came with nothing but a walking stick and her knowing. She sat with Aduni for 3 days, speaking in the old way, the way Yoruba way, where proverbs carry more weight than accusation. "The lizard that ruins its own nest," 𝗕𝗵𝗄 said, "has nowhere to sleep when the rain comes." On the 4th day, Aduni made a plan. It was a dry season when the Amata turns Lagos into a city of gold dust and static electricity. A time for weddings, for celebration, for showing wealth to the dry winds. Aduni announced a grand dinner party. All of Lagos society would come. The businessmen, the politicians, the church elders, the market women who had grown rich through her investment. She would celebrate her 8th wedding anniversary, she said, and honor the husband who had been her faithful eyes. Olumide was delighted. See, he thought, she suspects nothing. The blind are so easy to deceive. He helped Aduni plan everything, the musicians, the caterers, the decoration of white and gold. Chino would serve as a hostess, he suggested, to help Aduni manage. Aduni agreed with a smile that never reached her clouded eyes. The night of the party arrived. The house in Ikoyi blazed with light. Generators roared. Cars lined up the street. Mercedes, Jaguars, occasional proud Peugeot. Lagos had come to celebrate. Aduni sat in the place of honor in her white lace and coral beads that weighed like truth upon her neck. Olumide stood beside her, handsome in his hagbada, Chinwe hovering around nearby in a dress that was coincidentally the exact shade of Aduni's favorite wine. The guests ate. The band played high life. The champagne flowed like the Lagos lagoon itself. Then Aduni rose. My friends, she said, her voice carrying that particular authority of the true wealthy. I have a gift for my husband. For 8 years, he has described the world to me. Tonight, I will describe something to him. She clapped her hands. From the kitchen came 𝗕𝗵𝗶, leading 2 young men carrying a large wooden chest. They set it down before the high table. Open it, Aduni commanded. The chest creaked open. Inside, wrapped in a cloth, were items that made no sense at first until the guests recognized them. A man's leather slippers, a woman's silk wrapper, a half-empty bottle of Paris perfume, and photographs. Dozens of photographs developed by chemists on Awololo Road, showing Olumide and Chinwe in compromising embraces in this very house, in a hotel in Victoria Island, in a car park beneath the third mainland bridge. Aduni had hired a detective. A blind woman's money could buy many kind of eyes. Olumide, Aduni said. Now her voice was the voice of a lagoon at night, deep, dark, full of hidden things. You told me Chinwe was plain. You told me she was family. You told me I was safe in your hands. She turned her blunt eyes towards the crowd, saying nothing but speaking to everyone. My husband thought blindness was the only thing in my eyes. But I have seen more with my ears, my skin, my heart. And then he has seen with his perfect vision. I saw his lies in the spaces between his words. I saw his betrayal in the silence when I entered the room. She reached into her wrapper and drew a document. This is the deed of the house to all my houses, to the plantation that feed our wealth. They are mine. They have always been mine. And now, by the law and by the elders who witnessed our marriage, I cast you out. Olamide's face gone out of color, of the old yam. Aduni, please. Chinwe, Aduni continued, turning her head towards the girl who had frozen in terror. You wanted my life, my perfume, my husband. You thought because I could not see you, I could not know what you were or who you were. But the blind have one advantage over the sighted. We learn early that the world is not what it appears. She smiled. It was terrible. You may have him. He is no longer a man of substance. He is no longer a man of reputation. Take him to your village. Build a house with shame you have built in mine. The party ended in silence. The guests departed whispering. Olumide tried to protest, to invoke tradition, to claim rights over his wife's property. But 𝗕𝗵𝗶 had brought witness, market women, church women, the old men who sat under the mango tree and judged all disputes. They had seen the photograph. They had heard the confession in Olumide's silence. By morning, Olumide and Chinwe were gone from Ikoyi. Their names heavy with scandal. They tried to start a new life in Ibadan, but word travels so fast in Yoruba land. Chinwe left him within a year for a trader who did not ask questions. Olumide died poor and alone. Some say his own hand, others say simply broken spirit. Aduni lived another 30 years. She never remarried, but she raised her sister's children and her servants. Children in that house, teaching them that the world has many kinds of sight. She became known as Aduni Ojuina, Aduni of the fire eyes, because through her eyes were clouded, her gaze could not burn through lies. On a quiet night in Lagos, when the generators fail and the city goes dark, some say you can still hear her laughter from the house in Ikoyi, rich, full, and seeing everything. Thus, it was told that it was hard. The mouth that speak the truth may be blind, but the ear that hears it will never forget.